Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Balsa Williams and with me is Aditi Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. Centre decides to reduce disturbed areas under Armed Forces Special Powers Act in Nagaland, Assam and Manipur. AFSPA to be withdrawn from 60% areas of Assam from midnight tonight. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with students, teachers and parents all over the world in Pariksha Pe Charcha program tomorrow. Rajya Sabha bids farewell to 72 retiring members. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov arrives in New Delhi on a two-day visit. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar holds bilateral consultations with UK Secretary of State Elizabeth Truss. India and South Korea hold consultations on disarmament and non-proliferation in New Delhi today. India to donate another batch of 10,000 metric tons of wheat to Afghanistan under UN World Food Programme. Lok Sabha takes up discussion on promotion of sports in the country. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings takes on Lucknow Super Giants at Brabourne Stadium in Mumbai. The centre has decided to reduce disturbed areas under the Armed Forces Special Powers Act AFSPA in Nagaland, Assam and Manipur after decades. In a series of tweets, Union Home Minister Amit Shah said the reduction in areas under the AFSPA is a result of the improved security situation and fast-tracked development due to consistent efforts and several agreements to end insurgency and bring lasting peace in the northeast. He lauded Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his unwavering commitment, saying that the northeastern region, which was neglected for decades, is now witnessing a new era of peace, prosperity and unprecedented development. The minister congratulated the people of the northeast on this momentous occasion. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said that AFSPA will be withdrawn from 60% areas of the state from midnight tonight. Talking to media in Guwahati, the Chief Minister welcomed the decision of the centre to withdraw AFSPA partially from 3 states of northeast. Mr. Sarma said the act will be in force only in 9 districts and 1 subdivision in Assam following the decision of the centre. He said the withdrawal of the act would boost investment in the northeast.
If you look at this map, you will see that complete Lower Assam and Central Assam and North Assam, AFSA will be withdrawn from midnight today. Now, AFSA will be there only in the Hills district of Assam and in the Upper Assam, where, as we all know, that situation is yet to be improved to the satisfaction of the government. Things are still in the transition stage, and we are hopeful that in this district also we will be able to take a call sooner than later.
The Chief Minister said with improvement in the law and order situation, the decision of the withdrawal of the act from the rest of the state will be taken.
This decision has not come overnight. Neither it has been taken because of the fact that there was some demand from some quarters for withdrawal of AFSA. It has been withdrawn because of the marked improvement on law and order situation in the state of Assam. Since 2014, various bold steps has been taken by Government of India which resulted in the improved law and order situation. First, you have seen the historic Bodu Accord. After the historic Bodu Accord, all the faction of NDFB has laid down their weapons and they have resumed their normal life as a common citizen of this state.
On the issue of peace talks with the Alpha Pro Talk group, Mr. Sarma said the concerned persons have fast-tracked the process.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with students, teachers and parents all over the world in the 5th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha program tomorrow at Talkatoora Stadium in New Delhi. It is a much-awaited annual event in which the Prime Minister responds to questions related to examination stress by students in his uniquely engaging style in a live program. Over 15 lakh students, teachers and parents have registered for the event. Our correspondent reports that due to COVID-19 pandemic, the 4th edition was held online in April last year. Examination Controller CBSE Sanyam Bharadwaj, while talking to AIR News, appealed to all concerned to listen to the program.
देखिए, मेरा कहना यह है कि ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण बात है कि प्रधानमंत्री स्वयं अपने बच्चों से रूबरू हो रहे हैं। मेरा सभी विद्यालयों से जो हमसे संबंध है, दूसरे विद्यालय, उनके मैनेजमेंट, उनके प्रिंसिपल, उनके टीचर्स और सभी बच्चों से मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि वो प्रधानमंत्री को जरूर सुने। वो किस तरीके से बच्चों के साथ इंटरेक्ट करते हैं, किस तरीके से बच्चों की समस्याओं का समाधान करते हैं, ये बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि सोच बदलेगी तो देश बदलेगा और ये बदलने का समय है और देश को बदलने का समय है। इसलिए प्रधानमंत्री की सोच के साथ हमको बदलने का प्रयास करना चाहिए। हमको देखना चाहिए कि वो बच्चों के साथ किस तरीके से रूबरू होते हैं, किस तरीके से उनकी बातों को ध्यान से सुनते हैं और उनका समाधान करते हैं।
Talking to AIR News, educationist San Chaudhary said the program will help students and parents in easing out the exam pressure.
ये बड़ी ही खुशी की बात है कि हमारे देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी परीक्षा पूर्व चर्चा में अपना विचार छात्रों तक पहुंचा रहे हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी हमारे देश के अभिभावक के रूप में जो समय समय पर अनेकों विषय पे चर्चा करते रहे हैं, जिससे लोगों को काफी लाभ पहुंचा है। ये जो परीक्षा है, परीक्षा पूर्व छात्र छात्राएं तनाव में होते हैं, तो अगर देश के प्रधानमंत्री अभिभावक के रूप में उन्हें इस तरह की चर्चा करते हैं, कुछ सुझाव देते हैं, कुछ मार्गदर्शन देते हैं, तो हम समझते हैं कि छात्र छात्राएं बिल्कुल ही तनाव मुक्त हो जाएंगे और अभिभावक भी इससे काफी तनाव मुक्त हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि जितना छात्र छात्राओं को तनाव रहता है उसी तरह से अभिभावक में भी तनाव पाया जाता है। तो मैं इसके लिए बहुत बहुत साधुवाद प्रधानमंत्री जी को देता हूं, जो अपने व्यस्तम कार्यक्रम से इतना समय देते हैं।
The Pariksha Pe Charcha program will be telecast live on Doordarshan, radio channels, TV channels, digital media, including YouTube channels of various ministries and departments. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has shared a series of video tips for students and their parents on the eve of Pariksha Pe Charcha 2022 tomorrow. These videos shared on his YouTube channel cover a wide gamut of issues pertaining to students' life, especially related to exams. These contain special tips from the Pariksha Pe Charcha over the years. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has appealed to all the students, teachers and parents to participate in Pariksha Pe Charcha tomorrow. In his video message, Mr. Pradhan informed that the students, teachers and parents who will get to ask questions to the Prime Minister have been shortlisted on the basis of an online creative writing competition.
The Rajya Sabha today bade farewell to 72 members who are retiring from March to July this year. Speaking on the occasion, the Rajya Sabha, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said with the departure of these members, responsibility of the remaining members increases as they have to take forward the legacy of the outgoing members.
अनुभव का संपुट हमारे इन सभी महानुभावों के पास है और कभी कभी ज्ञान से ज्यादा अनुभव की ताकत होती है। अनुभव से जो प्राप्त हुआ होता है उसमें समस्याओं के समाधान के लिए सरल उपाय होते हैं। ऐसे अनुभवी साथी सदन से जाते हैं तो बहुत बड़ी कमी सदन को होती है, राष्ट्र को होती है। जो अनुभव की गाथा यहाँ छोड़ के गए हैं, जो बाकी यहाँ रहने वाले हैं, उनको उसको आगे बढ़ाना होता है। और मुझे विश्वास है कि आप जो साथी आज विदाई लेने वाले हैं, उनसे हम जो सभी सीखे हैं, आज हम भी संकल्प करें उसमें से जो भी उत्तम है, जो श्रेष्ठ है, उसको हम आगे बढ़ाने में इस सदन की पवित्र जगह का जरूर हम उपयोग करेंगे।
Mr. Modi said the upper house reflects the sentiments, spirit, pain and ecstasy of all parts of the country. He added, while it is true that as a member one contributes a lot to the house, it is also true that the house also gives a lot to the members. The Prime Minister hopes the retiring members will take their rich experience to all corners of the country. He also suggested that members should pen down their memories as a useful reference for future generations.
मैं चाहूंगा उन स्मृतियों को आप कहीं न कहीं शब्दबद्ध करें, कहीं न कहीं लिखें, ताकि कभी न कभी वो आने वाली पीढ़ियों को रेफरेंस के रूप में काम आएगी। कहीं पर भी हम बैठे हो, यहाँ हो या वहाँ हो, लेकिन हर एक ने अपने तरीके से कुछ न कुछ ऐसा कंट्रीब्यूशन किया होगा जिसने देश को दिशा देने में बहुत बड़ी भूमिका अदा की। इसको अगर हम संग्रहित करेंगे, मैं समझता हूं कि ऐसा मूल्यवान खजाना हमारे पास काम आएगा जो आने वाले लोगों के लिए काम आ सकता है, यानी एक इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज्ड व्यवस्था के तहत उसका उपयोग हो सकता है।
The Prime Minister urged the retiring members to inspire the people in the celebration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. In his remarks, Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu urged the legislators across the country to be propelled by passion, performance and procedural integrity, desist from disrupting the lawmaking bodies and uphold the honour and privilege bestowed on them by the people. He voiced concern over the House having lost over 35% of the functional time due to disruptions since 2017. Deputy Chairman Harivansh said the retiring members will continue to inspire the coming generations. Leader of the House in the Rajya Sabha, Piyush Goyal, who is also retiring, said all those members who are retiring from the House have made valuable contributions during their tenure in enhancing the image of Parliament through their experiences and debate. Leader of Opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, said the upper house is the chamber of ideas and said politicians never retire and they keep serving the nation. Later, the Rajya Sabha chairman adjourned the House for the day.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov reached New Delhi this evening on a two-day visit to India. He will hold bilateral meeting with External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar tomorrow. This is the highest-level visit from Russia to India after Moscow launched its military operations in Ukraine on 24th of last month. Mr. Lavrov is in India after concluding a two-day visit to China. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held delegation-level talks with UK Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs, Elizabeth Truss, in Delhi this evening. During the talks, Dr. Jaishankar said the Roadmap 2030 for India-UK relationship has made substantial progress. He said a lot remains to be done. Ms. Truss arrived in Delhi earlier today after a long day visit. India-UK relationship was elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership during the India-UK virtual summit held between the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his British counterpart Boris Johnson on 4th of May last year.
India-South Korea consultations on disarmament and non-proliferation were held in New Delhi today. External Affairs Ministry said the two sides exchanged views on developments in the field of disarmament and non-proliferation relating to nuclear, chemical and biological domains, outer space matters, regional non-proliferation issues, conventional weapons and export control regimes. The Indian delegation was led by Sandeep Arya, Additional Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs. The South Korean delegation was led by Jung-hyo Park, Director General for Non-Proliferation and Nuclear Affairs in South Korea's Foreign Ministry. India and the United Nations World Food Programme UNWFP signed a second agreement for donation of the next batch of 10,000 metric tons of wheat to Afghanistan. The first agreement was signed in Rome last month. India decided to gift 50,000 metric tons of wheat to the people of Afghanistan in view of the deteriorating humanitarian situation and in response to the appeals made by the United Nations. As of now, the first tranche of 10,000 metric tons of wheat has been successfully delivered to Afghanistan, and delivery of the next batch of 10,000 metric tons of wheat is in process.
Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla met U.S. Deputy National Security Advisor for International Economics and G20 Sherpa Dalip Singh in New Delhi today. They discussed India-U.S. economic cooperation and strategic partnership. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said in a tweet that they look forward to working together on global issues of mutual interest, including in G20. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
क्या आप कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम की तैयारी कर रहे हैं? ऑल इंडिया रेडियो के नए प्रोग्राम अभ्यास में हमारे विशेषज्ञ आपके सवालों का देंगे जवाब। शनिवार रात 9:30 बजे FM गोल्ड पर इस बार का विषय है इंडियन पॉलिटी एंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। आप इससे जुड़े सवाल व्हाट्सएप करें 9289094044 पर या सवाल ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर। भारतीय संविधान और राजनीति विषय पर आपके प्रश्न हमें 5 अप्रैल तक मिल जाने चाहिए। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
FSSAI has launched Food Safety Connect app for food business operators and consumers. Download this app from Google Play Store and easily apply for FSSAI registration. Consumer can use this app to register food-related complaints.
The Lok Sabha has taken up the discussion on the need to promote sports in India and the steps taken by the government in this regard. Initiating the discussion on it in the House, Gaurav Gogoi of Congress sought to know from the government as to what is the outcome of the various schemes which are being implemented from the last 7 years. He also wanted to know from the government's vision about promoting sports in the country. Mr. Gogoi said sports teaches us the value of hard work, leadership and unity of teamwork. Participating in the discussion, Anubhav Mohanty appreciated the efforts of the NDA government in promoting the importance of fitness among the masses. Members from other political parties also participated in the discussion, which remained inconclusive. The Congress today held a demonstration at Vijay Chowk protesting against fuel price hike. Speaking to reporters, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi said in the last 10 days, petrol and diesel prices have been increased 9 times. Mr. Gandhi demanded that the rising prices be brought under control. Congress party is holding nationwide protests on this issue today.
The Bihar School Examination Board released the Class 10 metric results today. The passing percentage this year is 79.88%. Over 6 lakh girls cleared the examination. A total of 8 students have ranked in the first 5 positions this year. This is All India Radio giving you the news.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Now here is a review of proceedings in Parliament today. First from the Rajya Sabha, writer is Sanjeev Chopra of PTI. The Rajya Sabha today bid farewell to 72 of its retiring members. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urged them to share their experiences gained from within the 4 walls of the House to all 4 directions in the best interests of the country and help inspire the coming generations. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu asked legislators across the country to be propelled by passion, performance and procedural integrity and desist from disrupting the lawmaking bodies while upholding the honour and privilege bestowed on them by the people. Several members, cutting across party lines, shared their fond memories with retiring colleagues and hoped they return to the House. Many of the MPs shared emotional moments while the House witnessed some lighter moments as well. Anand Sharma of the Congress, who is also retiring, said he never trooped into the well of the House during his entire tenure. Derek O'Brien of the Trinamool Congress said he would tell his grandchildren that when he was in Parliament, there were 2 former Prime Ministers, Manmohan Singh and H.D. Devegowda, and the Prime Minister was Narendra Modi. Tiruchi Shiva of DMK mentioned that farewell moments are always emotional and painful. This is not the end of the road, only a bend, Shiva said. At this, Chairman Naidu recalled about his earlier days when he and former Union Minister Jayapal Reddy too often used to borrow pens from fellow lawmakers. Prasanna Acharya of the BJD, a 3-time Lok Sabha MP and an MLA thrice, said before entering the Rajya Sabha he was under impression that he had a lot of experience, but was wrong. Retiring member Shapan Das Gupta of BJP suggested a parliamentary agenda to focus more on delivery, performance and facilitation in future instead of lawmaking that is currently followed. Rupa Ganguly of BJP, who admitted that she could not learn the parliamentary skills, rules and procedure during her term, suggested having a mentor program for new members. Among others, including Sasmit Patra of BJD, Chaya Verma and Vivek K. Tankha of Congress, Sampatiya Uike, Ramkumar Verma, Mahesh Poddar, Jaiprakash Nishad, Syed Zafar Islam, Harshvardhan Singh Dangarpur, Vikas Mahatme, KJ Alphonse, Sanjay Seth and Ashok Siddharth of BJP, Dharmapuri Srinivas of TRS, Sukhram Singh Yadav and Vishambhar Prasad Nishad of SP, K. Soma Prasad and Jharna Das Vaidya of CPI-M, Navneeta Krishnan of AIADMK, Sukhdev Singh Dhindsa of SAD also shared their experience in the House. A total of 72 members are retiring during March to July this year. They include A.K. Antony, Ambika Soni, P. Chidambaram, Anand Sharma, Jairam Ramesh, Suresh Prabhu, Praful Patel, Dr. Subramanian Swamy, Prasanna Acharya, Sanjay Raut, M.C. Maricom, Chapan Das Gupta, Dr. Narendra Jadhav. Union Ministers Nirmala Sitharaman, Piyush Goyal, Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi and Ram Chandra Prasad are also completing their tenures.
And now we review proceedings in Lok Sabha. Writer is Achinta Bora of PTI. Congress President Sonia Gandhi today voiced concern over the budgetary cut for Manrega, saying that several states have negative balance in their accounts to the tune of 5,000 crore rupees, which has led to delays in payments to workers. Raising the issue during the zero hour, she urged the government to make adequate allocations to Manrega, a scheme that had helped the government during the COVID-19 pandemic, and also ensure payments within 15 days. Rural Development Minister Giriraj Singh and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur accused Mrs. Gandhi of politicizing the issue and claimed that her remarks were far from truth. Anurag Thakur said the budgetary allocation for Manrega in 2013 and 14 was 33,000 crore rupees, whereas under Prime Minister Narendra Modi it has reached 1.12 lakh crore rupees. Mrs. Gandhi said Manrega, which was mocked by some persons, had provided timely help to crores of affected poor families during the pandemic and played a positive role in helping the government. She said still there is regular reduction in the budgetary allocation for Manrega. This year, the budget for Manrega is 35% less than that of 2020. Responding to Mrs. Gandhi, Minister Thakur alleged that the Manrega scheme saw massive corruption under the UPA government, which was weeded out by the Modi government. He said under Prime Minister Modi, geotagging of assets created under Manrega was introduced and payments were directly made to workers in their Jan Dhan accounts. Congress members were up on their feet protesting against the remarks by Singh and Thakur. As the commotion continued, Thakur said it was ironic for the opposition to criticize when a union minister had responded immediately to an issue raised by Gandhi. 3 members raised the issue of the death of a Rajasthan doctor by suicide after being booked for the death of a patient. DNV Senthil Kumar of DMK, who is a medical doctor, said such incidents could also disturb the doctor-patient ratio in the country. He said there was a need to distinguish between medical negligence and medical complications. Raising the issue of the suicide by Dr. Archana Sharma of Dausa in Rajasthan, he wondered as to when will the country stop harassing doctors for carrying out medical procedures. Jaskaur Meena of BJP, who represents Dausa in the lower house, slammed the Congress government in Rajasthan for creating an atmosphere against the doctor following the death of a patient following a delivery. Umesh Yadav, also of the BJP, said doctors should not be harassed like this. Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav said the time when India's voice was not heard on international platforms is over, and on climate change issues, India has emerged as a developing nation's voice that can neither be suppressed nor ignored. Replying to the discussion on climate change, Yadav said, when it comes to environment, India has always been a solution provider in the world. He said India, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, was among the few countries in the world that not only set nationally determined contributions in 2015, but achieved them before time, setting an example for others. The minister said during the COP26 meet in Glasgow, the Prime Minister talked about various aspects of India's fight against climate change, including India's vision to achieve carbon neutrality by 2070. The carbon emission of developed countries that account for a population of 17% in the world is 60%, while India's population is 17% and its carbon emission is 4%. The minister said he asserted India's lifestyle can teach the world how to live in harmony with the environment. Participating in the discussion, Gaurav Gogoi of Congress questioned the government on the effects of Prime Minister Gati Shakti scheme, the centre's big-ticket infrastructure project on India's commitment to cut emissions to net zero by 2070. Gogoi said while he supports the development, the scheme, which is a national master plan for multi-modal connectivity in totality, large-scale construction will raise emissions. Jayant Sinha of BJP said the net zero commitment by 2070 is massively net positive for India. He further pushed for a global carbon market and for India to be connected to a worldwide carbon network. Maluk Nagar of said the government should encourage electronic vehicles and propose that neem trees be grown in abundance to curb pollution. Arvind Sawant of Shiv Sena raised concerns over the use of lithium batteries in e-vehicles and questioned how they will be disposed of. That's all in Parliament Review.
The proceedings of the National Assembly of Pakistan adjourned till 3rd April, soon after it convened today to discuss the no-confidence motion against Prime Minister Imran Khan. The crucial session for the no-confidence motion started after much delay but adjourned till Sunday after members of Parliament demanded voting on the no-trust motion. Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has reportedly offered to dissolve the Assembly on the condition to withdraw the no-confidence motion against him. The Sensex and the Nifty today logged modest losses. Both stock indices fell amid negative cues from global share markets. The BSE Sensex closed below the 58,600 level, while the NSE Nifty ended near 17,450 points. The Sensex fell 115 points to close at 58,569. The Nifty also slipped 34 points to settle at 17,465.
Doordarshan Free Dish has become the largest DTH platform with reach of more than 43 million households. Information and Broadcasting Ministry said the free DTH service of Doordarshan clocked stellar growth of almost 100% from 22 million in 2017 to 43 million in 2022. Prasar Bharati's DTH service DD Free Dish is the only free-to-air direct-to-home DTH service where the viewer does not have to pay any monthly subscription fee. It only requires a small one-time investment of about 2,000 rupees for purchase of the DD Free Dish set-top box. In sync with rise in subscription base of DD Free Dish, the number of channels on DD Free Dish has also increased in multiple buckets this year. In News and Current Affairs category, the number of channels has increased from 11 to 14, while the bucket of Hindi music, Hindi sports, Hindi tele-shopping channels, Bhojpuri movies and Bhojpuri general entertainment channels has registered growth from 13 to 16. The chairperson of Mumbai Port Authority, Rajiv Jalota, said that the Mumbai International Cruise Terminal is expected to be commissioned by July 2024. He further said that the terminal will have a capacity of handling 200 ships and 1 million passengers per annum. Out of the total project cost of 495 crore rupees, 303 crore rupees will be incurred by Mumbai Port Authority and the remaining by private operators.
In IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings were 166 for 4 in 16.2 overs against Lucknow Super Giants at Brabourne Stadium in Mumbai when reports last came in. Earlier, Lucknow won the toss and opted to bowl. Tomorrow, Kolkata will clash with Punjab Kings at the Wankhede Stadium, Mumbai. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has said the fire in Sariska forest has been largely brought under control. He said he also spoke to Prime Minister Narendra Modi over phone yesterday and apprised him of the situation. More than 400 forest workers and villagers are continuously cooperating in this work. Additional District Collector of Alwar, Dr. Sunita Pankaj, told AIR that the fire has been extinguished in most areas. The fire broke out in the Akbarpur range of Sariska Tiger Reserve on Sunday, which became uncontrolled by Monday. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Centre decides to reduce disturbed areas under Armed Forces Special Powers Act in Nagaland, Assam and Manipur. AFSPA to be withdrawn from 60% areas of Assam from midnight tonight. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with students, teachers and parents all over the world in Pariksha Pe Charcha program tomorrow. Rajya Sabha bids farewell to 72 retiring members. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov arrives in New Delhi on a 2-day visit. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar holds bilateral consultations with UK Secretary of State Elizabeth Truss. India and South Korea hold consultations on disarmament and non-proliferation in New Delhi today. India to donate another batch of 10,000 metric tons of wheat to Afghanistan under UN World Food Programme. Lok Sabha takes up discussion on promotion of sports in the country. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings takes on Lucknow Super Giants at Brabourne Stadium in Mumbai. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.